So me old cockles, me old roamers, just like that, 4.5 hours on a bus, and I'm now in Serbia, in Nis. I've picked a few towns to come and visit. This is number one. Apparently there's a lot to see here, and I'm going to go to the place where I'm staying. I've actually got an apartment. I've been in hostels for 2 months and 6 days, and it's been a long time, so I'm looking forward to a good sleep. But first I'm going to go and check in, and then we're going to go to the shops. We're going to get some data, we're going to get some money out, and all those other exciting things you do when you first go to a town. But the scenery on the way here has been fantastic, lots of agriculture. So let's get on with another Serbia vlog. Yes! Lovely old neighbourhoods. I think this place is about 1.5 kilometres from the centre of town, the main train station of old. So it's looking very interesting. Pear trees, so many fruit trees. Everything is heavy with fruit. Look, pears, peaches. Look how heavy that is. It's bent over the car. Fantastic. So guest house Radio Vicic or something like that anyway, but not far from the train station. More fruit trees, distant view of the hills, gear bed, single bed, nice fridge, blah blah blah. Shower and that, €115 for 7 nights. Beautiful. So why did I choose Nis? Well, it seems to be an old city. It's one of the biggest cities in Serbia. I really enjoyed Belgrade when I spent a week there, and I want to learn about some more of Serbia's culture, history, heritage, that type of thing. And also I saw that there's a Red Cross museum for the Holocaust from the Second World War, and for some reason I want to visit that, so that's why I'm here. And there's a river and there's a fortress, you know, all those types of things. So, but it's pleasant summer's day. So there's St Nicholas Church, the Orthodox Cathedral, Catholic Church, the Malka, which has got a wine grape sign. So I don't know whether that's a park or whether that's a winery. The Mediana, that Roman Emperor's route, some Roman architecture and history no doubt. The Skull Tower, Nazi concentration camp museum, and the fortress, and the medical centre, just in case you need one. Lots of nice green spaces in town to see. Play areas, statues of prominent Serbian legends. I'm never going to be able to pronounce that. It's in Cyrillic or whatever you call it. Anyway, he was a dude on an horse. If you do know, drop it in the comments. Died in 34. So I'm at the main shopping mall, the pedestrianised centre, big shops, big hub. Just got some dinars out. Cost me around $5–6 AUD to withdraw, and now it's time to get SIM card. So 1,400 dinar for a 30-day 50 gigabyte SIM card, which is just for data. It's less than 10 quid, so very affordable. 5G. So I think at this point I'm gonna get some food, go back to the room and catch up on some much needed non-hostel sleep, really and truly. So I've got data, I've got dinars, and I've got a big bag of groceries for about 10 quid, 20 AUD. I'm fully set up in Serbia. awesome. It's a very easy country to get set up in, actually. You can't beat the free buses of Serbia. Such a brilliant thing. Anyway, it's a new day. Had a good sleep. Let's get out and have a look around. Some great murals around town, that's for sure. Anyway, I'm just about to cross over the Nišava River. It's a beautiful sunny day, low 30s temperature in centigrade. I love the feel of the town, I love the architecture. Free transport. Beautiful. Wow, water's really clear. Lots of weed. Oh, I can see fish. Not too much pollution. It's looking beautiful. A train bridge down there. Beautiful river walk. Heading down in the direction of the fortress to see a famous mural. And yeah, it's really rather pleasant. Lots of grand old buildings here. It's a lot different to the countries where I've been recently. It's got a feeling of real age and grandeur and almost respectability in some strange sense. Lots of nice looking areas around. Fortress is looking awesome. Canoeists. Well, I've just walked for ages to come and see a mural. There looks like there's a few of them here. It's a bit of a rundown neighbourhood, not far from the river, about 30 minutes, 40 minutes from the bridge I was just on. College complex. Nice colours. Not sure who it is. Painted in 2021. Just across the bridge from where the mural is, and by the way that's on Google Maps, is the Delta Planet shopping mall. It's even got a McDonald's. Serbia must have McDonald's. I haven't seen McDonald's for ages. So, looks pretty decent. It's got all the shops which are famous in the Balkans region. And inside is one of my favourite supermarkets, Lidl. Yes! Gonna go and get a few bits and pieces for the week. So the other far out place that I've earmarked to see is the Skull Tower. It was built in 1809 by the Ottomans, and the stone structure is embedded with real skulls. Apparently there's 59 skulls remaining, and it commemorates a battle with Serbian resistance, the Battle of Cigar. So it seems a really, you know, popular thing to do when you come to Niš. So I'm going to knock it out of the way today. Go and see them skulls. And there it is. Let's go in. It looks like a church. Well, I guess it is a memorial in a way. By the way, there's a lot of churches in Serbia, a lot of special places of Christianity. I'm not a Christian, so I'm over it, to be honest. I've seen some fantastic buildings, beautiful paintings, architecture, decoration, but yeah, I'd rather go and see the Skull Tower, to be honest. So a memorial to the fighters who died. Let's get in there. So this is the remains of the tower. This is just the structure which supports it. Mm. 300 dinars. But I remember seeing a bone and skull tower in Cambodia. That had more than 59 skulls, that's for sure. Battle of Cigar. 31st of May 1809, the rebels' army suffered a heavy defeat. This tower was meant to intimidate the Serbian people, but it became a symbol of love and of freedom, and an eternal memorial honouring the heroes of Cigar. So another lovely day in Nis. It's going to be mid-30s today. Just caught the free bus in to town, and I'm going to head over to the Istanbul gate of Nis Fortress. And apparently inside there's lots of shops and monuments, etc. And it's a free enterprise. So let's get over there and check it out. So beautiful old gate. Old Turkish hammam. Looks like they've got the Nishville Jazz Festival, which is going to be happening. Jazz Museum. Lots of old buildings, lots to see. And a big map to prove it. We got Auditorium, Information Centre, Belgrade Gate, Armory, niches, monuments, mosques, vaults, palace, gunpowder magazines, jails, memorials, archives. It's all happening in Nis Fortress. Nishville Museum. Do love a bit of jazz. Be investigating that later. What a glorious day. So the remains of an old Roman bathhouse. I'm guessing it was Roman bathhouse. It didn't put it back. It didn't name it as part of any particular civilization. It said a Thermae. Now I know the Romans were into bathhouses. Got the terracotta interweaved into the structures there, so I'm guessing that's what it was. All different temperature pools, dressing rooms, etc. near the Belgrade Gate. Monument to Prince Milan Obrenović and the liberators of Nis, shaped in the style of a bullet, representing liberation of Nis from the Turks, built in 1902 on the 25th anniversary of the liberation of Nis. Wow, a lot of people had to work really hard to get rid of the Ottomans, didn't they? Big empire. Remains of an old Byzantine street, which had undergone much remodelling over the years, which means it was repurposed. Fantastic. Oh, there's a lot in here. Inside the fortress, it was obviously occupied by many people over time. Many groups of people seeking power and influence. Beautiful buildings. This is the old mosque, which is now Salon 77. A gallery, no less. More remnants of the ancient cities within the fortress, back to Caesarean times. A basilica, a vaulted building, and a street remnant. Lovely open spaces. The Lapidarium of Nis, one of the oldest ancient monuments in Serbia, first discovered in 1887 when 10 Roman architectural monuments of the Roman period, no less, were discovered, and some other monuments have been bought from nearby villages. Sculptures, carvings, and items of interest. Ah, the old powder magazine building, built from 1720 to 1723. 5 of them are preserved. Very thick walls, and then a central room inside to protect the gunpowder. Because you wouldn't want it exploding, would you? Yeah, I know the Nis Fortress is very good value. There's still, you know, the whole wall remains and lots to see inside. It's very interesting. So let's get some of this history right. So the Byzantine period refers to the Eastern Roman Empire and a shift towards Greek language and Christianity under the capable hands of Emperor Constantine, who had his capital in Constantinople, modern day Turkey. So I believe a lot of the Roman history that we're seeing here dates back to that period, and that was an old octagon fortress or house from a prominent member of the empire at the time. I'm at the far side of the fortress now, and all around the fortress is this great big moat or area of defence, because I can imagine that way back when it may have been a lot deeper and obviously full of water and then hard to get into the fortress. And so the Byzantine Empire later fell to the Ottomans, and so we have the succession of power and influence throughout the region, and then the various ethnic groups who rose up to expel and defeat the Turks when the Ottoman Empire, which eventually sort of eroded under its own power dynamics anyway. There's another powder magazine. So how are you feeling? You taking this all in? Gonna give you an exam later. So I'm just walking along the fort walls. You can see they're like nearly 3 meters thick. Walking along where I walked yesterday, along the River Walk. It just gives you a really good view of the surrounding area around Niš, the hills, the fortress in it itself. Very nice. So not far from the front gate of the fortress you have a green market. Awesome. Fruit, flowers, local products, all manner of stuff. Beautiful. Oh, it's vast. Summer flowers. Well, the produce is much cheaper than the supermarkets, that's for sure. These are 300 dinars, which is about less than $3 Australian. About $10 in the local supermarket, so it's good to get it straight from the producers. Hello, mate. Lots of delicious food. Incredible difference in the prices. Clothes, shoes, everything. A kilo of peppers for just over $1 Australian. It's awesome. And it's just a few minutes away from probably the biggest touristic venue in the city, the fortress. So a good contrast. It's always good to find a green market. So lots of local food in this area as well. Such as budgerigards, burgers, kebab grills, salads, or Rabenica at the fish market as well, all in one. Awesome. Lots of cheeses. Bakers. Bakers? Let's get in there. So just for your information, if you ever arrive in Niš by bus, Nis Express, this is the bus stop location at the end of the road where the Green Market is. So it's a happening little place, and just looking at the prices of the bread in the local bakers and all that, if you shop locally, awesome prices. Nis Express, big transport provider in Serbia. So this, by the way, is King Milan Square, right opposite the fortress. And no doubt that there is a statue of King Milan. The Mayor's office, very grand building. So simple picnic time. Tomatoes, peppers, some beautiful strong sort of feta cheese, Kaiser Marinikovac, beautiful, and this beautiful seedy bread, pumpkin seeds and all that, bit of extra protein, fantastic, beautiful park, Niš in the summer. Simple delights of travel. So I'm just on my way back to the hotel. Just thought I'd stop at this monument of Icarus. Apparently it commemorates 90 years of the Serbian military aviation and the defence of the Serbian homeland. It's in a lovely little park area, of which there are many in the city. So it's a beautiful statue. And I don't know how it fits into the myth, you know, like Icarus flying too near the sun and then his wings burning off and all that type of stuff, but I'm sure if you know, drop it in the comments. Oh, and while I'm here, please like and subscribe. If you're enjoying these videos, then yeah, give me a hit up. Beautiful. So just across the road from the Icarus monument, there's the railway lines. And for all you railway enthusiasts, this is a find on Google Maps, the old Locomotive Graveyard. I mean, these things are so rusted out, they must be absolutely bloody ancient. But apparently there's a few of them here. And it's obviously not a museum of any formal sense, but we'll have a walk along and have a look. Oh God, I wonder how old they are. Could be Soviet era, or it's like the type of stuff I've seen in India. But if I find any more information, I'll let you know. Yes, I don't know whether this was an old railway station at one point, but this view is definitely better this side. Oh, there's a little buddy. Hello. Look at that for a beast. God almighty, what a machine. Steam power at its finest. Oh, where they put the coal in, or the coke, or the wood, or whatever they used to fire it with. Fantastic. What the hell? What are you doing now? Well, it's early evening. It's just started cooling down. There's even more hot weather coming in the next few days. 36 tomorrow and then rising to 38. So I'm out walking to a park called Park Bubanj, where apparently there is a massive monument to the resilience of the Serbian people. So I'm taking this ad hoc path to find the statues. So this horizontal frieze made of white marble is the work of Croatian sculptor Ivan Sabolic and represents the fascist killing machine. Machine guns, people hanging, dead bodies, and then the capitulation of the conquerors, the fascists. So this place is all about surviving what happened and the documentation. And then in the background we have the symbols of resistance, the three massive fists of the Serbian people rising up, saying we can survive. And there's the puppies running around it, people with drones. So it is a big large area, and they are some big sculptures. So basically a lot of killings, a lot of destruction, a lot of murder went on at the hands of the fascists in Nis, which is why, you know, there's the Red Cross Holocaust camp here. So this is just a way for the people to remember what they've been through and to take strength from it, I guess. But they are solid structures. Nothing fancy about them, just a lot of cast concrete, but they do engender strength, that's for sure. Nothing subtle about their sculptural integrity, strength and resilience. So there's a little model there of the site. So from 1942 to 1944, patriots from all across the contemporary Yugoslavia were mass executed on the site by fascists, following their escape from the Red Cross concentration camp on February the 12th, 1942. The mass executions reached staggering numbers of several hundred a day. Since the occupier destroyed the evidence and burned the bodies, the exact number of victims could not be established. However, based on the testimony of survivors and the data collected by the National Museum of Nis, it is estimated that about 10,000 people were executed. And the site was commemorated in 1945. Whew. I guess the reality is, anywhere you go in the world which seems remotely peaceful has been fought for with blood. I mean, there's no other way of looking at it, I can imagine. Everywhere which has a remote degree of success in modern day terms was once a battlefield. It's awful in a way. So where's Wally today? Well, I'm just walking through an older part of town and I'm heading towards the bridge, and then I'm going to cross the bridge and I'm going to see the concentration camp, the Red Cross concentration camp. The river is looking beautiful, as always, very natural this part. Lots of little islands, lots of vegetation, summer flowers. It's a great old bridge with that factory in the background. Beautiful. Anyway, let's get on with a walk to the concentration camp. So, Nazi Concentration Camp Museum, also known as the Memorial Complex, 12th of February. So, let's go and get some tickets. I'm a little bit hesitant to go in and see it. But it's such a significant thing that happened in this part of the world, so I have to just face up and go in. There's a bit of a stark atmosphere. Let's go and have a look at this memorial. just got my ticket for 300 dinars in the old SS building. Let's go in and have a look. There's a watchtower, some guns. 2 watchtowers. No doubt a memorial with more fists, like I saw at Bubanj last night. So, defiance and resilience. (1949). I'll go to the main building now. So in 1941, when the Germans began to occupy Nice, this concentration camp was formed in tandem with the killing fields at the Bubanj Memorial, where I was yesterday, for Jews and resistance fighters. First arrest warrants were issued October 1941, and the place started to fill up. So when the prisoners learned that people were being executed, they decided to make an escape plan. So there's various artifacts here detailing what happened. The camp break, as they call it. So they stormed the barbed wire. 105 prisoners managed to escape, and in retaliation, more than 800 prisoners from the camp were shot at the Bubanj location. The first major break from any Nazi concentration camp. So this is a depiction of how the prisoners were kept. Straw for bedding. There's a lot of inscriptions on the walls where people have written behind the glass here. So initially the people of Nice were held as hostages to save the lives of German soldiers. 100 people would be killed for every German killed, and 50 Serbian people killed for every German soldier wounded. So people from the area were later deported to Germany to work for the German cause. Quarries, industrial, and whatever the German Reich needed at the time, I guess. Forced labour. Detained at different concentration camps throughout Europe. So in total, 7,200 people were taken from the area of Nice and interned in concentration camps. So the Red Cross apparently first became involved in the Nis area after the liberation of Nis from the Turks in 1878. So their long-standing presence in the community is why the station is called Red Cross. It's like the chicken and the egg. What come first, the railway station or the Red Cross? But they had an incredible impact during the war. They got to know the routines of the Germans. They obviously looked after medical issues. They looked after the parcels. They looked after the internees and the various well-being. They prepared people who travelled north to Norway by giving them special clothing to help them adapt to the climatic extremes. And a lot of them suffered themselves because of interference in the the German administration. It's an incredible story. So this is the top floor of the building, and it is really warm up here because the roof isn't insulated. This is where the cells were, well, still are. Tiny little cramped spaces. Whew. So apparently one form of torture was to put barbed wire all over the floor so that the prisoners could never rest. Well, I don't know what experience that was like for you, but it's pretty, I don't know whether it's, I feel desensitized because I've seen so much evidence in movie theatres, and you know, it's just banged home, isn't it, in our culture as a deterrent against those sort of things happening. But to actually see the faces of the people and to read their stories, what they experienced, you know, as it happened day by day. You know, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, the guards have arrived and they've started beating my friend, you know. No, it's just mind-blowing. But anyway, I wanted to come here. It's one of the reasons I came to Nis, believe it or not, to come and visit this place. So it's done. So here we have the local theatre of Nis. It's lunchtime. I was tempted to get some birrick, but I've eaten a lot of birrick and it does look the same as what I've eaten before, so decided to get some of this delicious cornbread. Super crispy on the outside, very moist on the inside, and it contains spinach as well, and I've just tasted a bit and it's not overly flavourful, but it's corny and delicious. So yeah, a bit more local food. It's just past midday, it's hovering around the mid-30s, so I'm going to get the free bus back in a minute and then go out later on tonight. Oh, I just got a free bus back from the city. So this is obviously the old railway station. The new railway station is there, as you can see from the sign, and there is the third railway coach or railway steam engine from the graveyard selection. As far as I can tell, made in Kassel in 1922. Fine figure of a beast. It does look like Thomas a bit. Good morning. So today we are going to the circus. No, we are not going to the circus. We are going to an archaeological site. So when I've been seeing these signs all around town with grapes on them, it was referencing this covered site, which is the site of a 4th century Roman villa during the time of Constantine, who was the first Roman emperor to convert to Christianity. And apparently they built a luxury villa here, and all the top knobs of the Roman Empire used to go and stay and revel and, you know, party and do that type of thing. And apparently there's some beautiful mosaics underneath this covered site. So that is today's, or one of today's things to do. And I think it's about 500 dinars entry, and the site is called Mediana, and it does look vast, and thankfully it's covered, which means it's open 365 days of the year, and the mosaics are protected from the elements. It's a beautiful bit of terrain out here, so I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Nice hills, rugged geography, and that's all about I've got to say at this moment, other than free bus. It's so good getting on a bus. You don't have to look for tickets, you don't have to get your card out, think about payment systems and all that. It is just such a bloody luxury. Literally you can jump on and jump off any bus. It's big up Serbia for doing free transport. That is the sign you're looking for. So let's go and get some tickets. So Constantine's villa at Mediana. He reigned from 306 to 337 AD, and the complex consisted of ceremonial entrance, a villa with octagon, military barracks and ancillary and agricultural buildings. But as the woman just said to me inside, it was a centre of luxury. That is the focus. And apparently it was destroyed by the Huns in 441 AD. Bloody Huns. Wow, when you get up close to it, this is a vast site. It's not just a willy-nilly tent, it's a massive piece of construction. Steel and tarpaulin, residential complex. God, there was a lot of rooms. Lots of buildings. Bathhouses, banquet rooms, corridors, imperial office. Mate, you would have been living it up here, wouldn't they? The importance of the origin of Constantine's dynasty from a prominent Dardanian family. Hail, Constantine. I come in peace. Oh. So lots of beautiful mosaics. Beautiful patterns. So there's a fair slab of information here. First conservation efforts were carried out in 1967, and the conservators believe that the walls of some of the rooms were covered with mosaics as well, due to some of the early findings. They said that the villa had peristyle. Now I'm not sure what peristyle is, but I believe, according to some research, that it means there were columns all the way around the outside, so that there was a covered walkway. So the central area there was probably filled with plants and people playing musical instruments, peeling grapes, you know, that type of thing. Well, there's actually some fragments of wall painting remaining. That's incredible. Incredible find. You have to really sort of quiet yourself to take in where you are. If you look at it too quickly, it just seems like a load of rubble, but you have to sort of get into the mood, I think is the best way of saying it. And now we come to the banquet room with this fantastic cylindrical mosaic in the middle. Wow, that is beautiful. Incredible. Oh, to think the Emperor of the Roman Empire used to come and stay here for a bit of R&R. Would have been a very, very special place. Geometric and vegetable motifs. The finds of glass tesserae with gilding. Get new glasses, Kev. Suggests that the ceiling was also decorated with mosaic. The mosaics are made in opus tessellatum technique. The building was heated by a system of heating canals, and the furnace was located in the north side. So you can see they've left the channel open there. Underfloor heating back in the Roman days. Bosh! Oh, that is beautiful. Some vents down there. So rooms without purpose just had a kind of geometrical style, because they don't denote any function, whereas a banquet hall or a reception room have specific motifs. And you've got Leda and Zeus, and then in the middle there is a picture of Medusa. So everything is very carefully planned. So this is the main banquet hall. with these little side rooms. Probably all the buffet was in the middle, you know, the prawns and the legs of mutton or whatever they were eating at the time. It's incredible. Mr. Constantine. During his reign, Constantine the Great visited Nis several times, which is confirmed by several imperial decrees between 315 and 334. His last arrival was recorded on August 25th, 334, which can be related to his wish to start celebrating in his hometown the Great Jubilee, 30 years of rule as emperor. Incredible. And of course, these marble statues were decorations. So the food and drink that was served was intended not only to satiate the guests, but also to add an element of spectacle to the meal. Exotic produce, particularly those from wild animals, birds and fish, were favoured at elite dinner parties because of their rarity, difficult of procurement and consequent high cost. Elaborate recipes were invented that required not only expensive ingredients and means of preparation, but also elaborate, even dramatic forms of representation. So basically, the more spectacular the meals were, the more spectacular everything was. We knew that he was a rich dude. Hello. This place is super impressive. I can't help thinking of like modern day mega rich people, you know, who have these massive parties or great big weddings, you know, like Taylor Swift and all that, and they have these big parties that go on for days and all that. It's all a spectacle, isn't it? It's quite crazy, really. Well, I suppose it's what people do, isn't it? It's like, it's life, baby. So there's also a few outdoor structures here which are not so well kept and still covered, like an early Christian church. Don't know what that is over there, but I'm not jumping over a trench to get to it. And military barracks and a whole bathhouse complex, which looks like there's a bit of work ongoing. This is a fantastic setting. Hills and mountains in the background, they chose well. So in the surrounding area there was more buildings. There was a warehouse, there was a water tower. So keeping away from the luxury, you know, some of the service buildings, the utilities were just spread around the area, and obviously a lot of military barracks to protect the emperor. Awesome visit, well worth it. I nearly missed that one out. I thought it was a vineyard or whatever. So yeah, it's fantastic. Very, very well worth a look. The ancient basis of Nis and all those things that you see inside the fortress. There's little buildings and pieces of construction. It's just, you know, part of the many, many layers of history which predate modern Serbian life. It's yeah, very, very interesting. Alright, let's get back to the centre. The city. Another free bus. So the next place on my extensive niche list is Tinker's Alley, which is very similar to this place really. It's an alley famous for having lots of outdoor eateries and that type of stuff. Tinker's Alley. Probably goes back to the old times. It was a place where people did tinkering. I'm guessing it's either a nighttime venue or everybody who's here is sitting inside in that air conditioning. And that is the way life goes, isn't it? Fine dining in Tinker's Alley. And at the end of Tinker's Alley, the famous monument to the writer Stefan Kalvik and his dog. Talking about his next plot for his next big masterpiece. So Saturday today, out and about, going for a walk. Just picked up some beautiful berry. cheese and spinach. The white cheese they have here is so nice. It's like super strong feta, very, very flavourful. So combined with the spinach and that flaky pastry. Oh my god. So anyway, I'm on my way to a city park, which I've seen on the map. And yeah, it's Saturday. Some stores are closed. Very relaxed kind of feel. Really loving it here. Really enjoying my time in Serbia again. It's awesome. So here we are, Park Cair, C-A-I-R, near the sports stadium in Niš. Let's have a look around. Apparently there's some thermal springs here, somewhere to put your feet and relax and all that. There's a lot of thermal activity in Serbia. Next town I'm going to is a kind of a resort town for thermal spas and stuff, so it'll be good to see what it's like. So adjacent to this park there's also an aqua park and an ice skating rink, so it's all going on in the green part of town. Very nice actually, loads of shade. Well, I can't see any sign of any thermal activity. There is a fenced in dog park, if that's any news. Nice park though. Well, it's 1:25 in the afternoon. Now normally this square is pretty busy. It's one of the central places in Niš. You know, you've got the river, the cafes, you've got the fortress over there, restaurants and the shopping precincts, but it is so hot that the main people are just enjoying themselves in the fountain, you know, like it's just incredible. It's just, I think it's like 38, something like that, so fair play to you boys, get in the fountain. I've just had an absolute find. I went to the shopping centre, I went for a long walk, went to the shopping centre, I got myself a brand new pair of Skechers hiking shoes. Incredible. I said, have you got a big size, blah blah blah. He came out with exactly the right shoe for me, exactly what I wanted. I'm going to Poland in a few weeks, just so I'm in the EU and I can order off of Amazon, because that's how desperate I was to get some decent shoes which actually fit me. And there I am, I've got them on. I'm going to Poland anyway, so bonus. Well, the added bonus is I was going to pay about 160 euros more for the shoes on Amazon. So I got these for 100 euros and they're like bloody awesome. Another day in this. Well, it is Sunday today, it's pretty quiet. My last full day here, leaving tomorrow, getting a bus somewhere else in Serbia. So I've come to see the National Museum. Now apparently the National Museum is very small, but it's full of information about Niš obviously, and also some stuff related to the Roman villa that I visited the other day from Constantine's time and that type of stuff. So, and I believe this is the building. Nice museum. Lots of different artifacts, all from Niš. So there's a replica of what the complex at Mediana would have looked like, Constantine's villa. So it's one of the reasons I wanted to come here, to see what it would have looked like. And there's some actual paint taken from the walls in the banquet hall. Roman guard. That's incredible, a preserved bronze railing complete with busts from so long ago. And to be able to see the wall paintings, amazing. It's not a big museum, but very very interesting and very, you know, it sort of roots you to the place, to the area of Nis and its history. Amazing glass, considering it's 2,000 years old. So intricate. Reconstructions of tombs from the local area. Just when Christianity was seeping into the Roman Empire with Constantine. So if you come to Nis and you're interested in looking at the places where I've been to the past few days, the museum, the villa and the skull tower, you can get a combined ticket for 1,200 dinars rather than paying for each one's individually. When I explained to the lady that I've been paying for each one's individually, she said you don't have to pay here then, because that is 1,000 dinars. So it was very, very kind of her to let me off the cost. And yeah, the museum itself, it is small, but there's a lot of information in there and it's all relevant, you know, it fills in the gaps with the other places that I've seen recently. So it's from Neolithic times all the way up to the Ottoman times and medieval period. So it's well worth the look. And I think that just about wraps up my tour of Nis. Another baking hot day, that's for sure. The last birthplace in Nis. Very pleasant, very tasty. It's a different cooking style, but very crunchy. So have you been to Nis? Have you been other places in Serbia? Tell me what I've missed. Drop me a comment below. So that's it. Basically, Nis is kind of done. I'm not going to walk around in this heat too much. I'm going to go back and chill out. I've seen everything I wanted to see in Nis. And this is the prime spot, isn't it? Down by the river, down by the fortress, where the fountains are shooting off. Perfect. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the vlog. As always, tell me what's going on, drop me a comment, and I will see you somewhere else in Serbia. Beautiful Nis.